Professor Bismarck Jobeka, Director General in the Office of the Premier, Mr. Musoyo Paul Mohotle, Head of Departments and CEOs of public entities, the Acting Provincial Commissioner of the South African Police in the Northwest, Ntate Naidu, the heads of security service, members of the diplomatic corps, my family present here, all invited guests, members of the media, and fellow compatriots. Honorable Speaker, 150 years ago, a pioneering intellectual, journalist, and founding Secretary General of the African National Congress, Sol Plaatje, was born on a farm in Boshoff district of the Orange Free State. He would later relocate to Mahikeng, where his political acumen was nurtured by Barolo Boratsidi. Plaatje dedicated his adult life to the cause of restoring the dignity of oppressed South Africans. His life, which is captured in various pieces of literature, tells a story of an unknown man who grew into becoming a court interpreter, a linguist, and a giant of South African literature and politics. An internationalist who, through the financial assistance of Barolo Boratsidi, crisscrossed the world, meeting with political figures like W.E.B. Du Bois to galvanize the global community to support the abolishment of the 1913 Native Land Act. It is this political infrastructure created by Plaatje that will later trickle down to American Pan-Africanists, such as Reverend Jesse Jackson, to support the African National Congress to attain political freedom. At this very moment, I would like to take this opportunity and pass my heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and comrades of Reverend Jesse Jackson, who sadly passed away last week at the age of 84. Honorable members, today we have converged in the provincial capital of our province, Mahikeng, as part of our ongoing efforts to consolidate our democratic gains. On this historic year, which coincides with the 30th anniversary since the adoption of the Constitution, we renew our commitment to the furtherance of the ideals of justice and democracy grounded on human dignity, inclusivity, accountability, and transparency. As we remind ourselves of the value of our democracy, we do so conscious of the genuine expectations of our people who live in the margins of society, who yearn justifiably so for the true realization of its material dividends. This includes, Madam Speaker, job creation, inclusive economic growth, tackling high cost of living, improving service delivery, and building a capable and ethical state. Honorable members, the dream of a province free of poverty, inequality, and unemployment has guided our forebears and remains as a primary task of our generation to fulfill the historic mission to deliver a national democratic society envisioned in the Freedom Charter. The resilient echoes of the 1956 anti-pass laws campaign by the women of Ramutsiri Muilwa, the spirited tenacity of the June 16, 1976 student uprising, fuels all resolve to serve the people of the Northwest. It is their expectation to avail the resources of the state for their benefit to build a province of equal opportunities, shared prosperity, and free of corruption. Honorable Speaker, we have declared 2026 as a year of decisive action to fix local government. We have also resolved how to transform the economy. As this year is earmarked for local government elections, we fully commit to support the Electoral Commission to conduct free and fair elections. Honorable members, municipalities, as often mentioned, is the closest sphere of government within reach of ordinary people and affects their daily lives directly. It is also the practical location of enterprises, big or small, domestic or international. The developmental mandate of local government is derived from the section 153 of the Constitution, which amongst others places an obligation on municipalities, and I quote, to promote the social and economic development of the community, unquote. The duty to fix local government, to correct and restore its administrative functionality is important both for meeting basic needs of the people and creating enabling conditions for business to operate and create jobs. There is therefore a positive correlation between a functioning local government and a growing economy that works for all the people. As a result, it is our duty to restore the administrative functionality of all our municipalities by improving provision of basic services such as water, electricity, refuse removal, and road maintenance. We are not unfairly fixated on weaknesses in local municipalities whilst ignoring our provincial government. We recognize that a seamless ecosystem of good governance is critical for all spheres of government to build a mutually reinforcing order of cooperation and interdependence. Provincial government is following on the example set by the national government to improve governance by turning the tide of poor audit outcomes, with 9 out of 11 departments receiving unqualified and clean audit outcomes in the last audit cycle. We can confirm that all our senior managers in the provincial departments have complied with submissions on their financial disclosures. This is aimed at promoting good governance practices with emphasis on ethical leadership, but critically to avoid incidents of conflict of interest by deterring any possibility of malfeasance. Honorable Speaker, all the members of the Executive Council have signed agreements with the Premier to measure their performance, and where there is delegation of duty, political consequence management will ensue. Moreover, several cases implicating government and municipal officials are being investigated by the law enforcement agency, while others are before the courts of law. Progress in relation to these matters will be announced by relevant unit at an appropriate time. Honorable members, in the last financial year, we have spent 98% of our provincial allocation by the National Treasury. Therefore, ga gona maikutlo ape a reng a ka letlelela madi a setšhaba go boela ko pusong. Now, this upward trend is being witnessed in the current financial year, as we don't expect any money to be returned to the national fiscus. From the beginning of 2026-2027 financial year, we will introduce a province-wide smart government monitoring evaluation dashboard. Now, all our departments will be integrated into a single executive oversight platform that allows real-time tracking of performance, expenditure, and service delivery outcomes. All departments, with no exception, will participate in this exercise of an executive oversight in the Office of the Premier. Honorable members, the stabilization of the provincial government has enabled us to focus our energies on municipalities. The encouraging signs of recovery, as reflected in our audit outcomes, bears testimony to the ongoing commitment of government to support municipalities through financial recovery plans, administrative support, planning, and budgeting. As a consequence, municipalities such as Moses Kotane, the Tawu municipality, and the JB Marks have improved from qualified to unqualified audit opinions. We will be dedicating our ongoing efforts in assisting Bojana Platinum and Dr. Kenneth Kaunda district municipalities, as well as Moretele local municipality, to move from unqualified to clean audit outcomes. These three municipalities have shown that they are serious candidates for clean audits, and therefore provincial government is going to support those three municipalities. We also note the decrease in disclaimer audit outcomes from 9 municipalities in 2020 to 2021 to only 1 in 2024 to 2025, which is Bitobot. Therefore, what it means is that matsapa a rona o tla ra tsaya go thusa di masepala tse tsotlhe tse re nang le tsone a tshimolotse go ntsha maungo, therefore re setse ka ditsobotla. However, we are satisfied, Honorable Botswe, with progress registered so far following the introduction of our national cabinet representative under section 139 subsection 7 of the Constitution. So far so good in the Tsobota. Let us give them a round of applause. Now, while endowed, this municipality, while endowed with sufficient private sector investment across critical industries like cement manufacturing, regional agricultural companies, poultry, and more, this municipality is a textbook example of how bad governance and instability can lead to value destruction in the local economy. Deprive a municipality of revenue and consequently poor service delivery, accompanied by high levels of unemployment. Honorable members, we will be introducing a compact of section 154 of the Constitution in identifying municipalities to strengthen their capacity in areas such as waste management and road maintenance. The Department of Public Works and Roads, as well as Economic Development, environment, conservation and tourism will be seized with the responsibility to assist with the aforementioned interventions in our municipalities. The Sobota and Matosane local municipalities will be our starting point, where our cooperation will include working with SANRAL and the farmers organization. Section 106 investigations into alleged acts of maladministrations at the city of Matosana, Madibeng, and Tswaing have been completed, with remedial actions being implemented. In relation to Matosani, we are using other various legislative measures to stabilize the municipality. This is aimed at strengthening administrative stability and financial accounting. Furthermore, the involvement of ESCOM will assist our municipalities which are grappling with load reduction, with energy efficiency and demand management grant. MEC Molapisi will elaborate further on these interventions measures during his budget speech. Through our Adopt a Municipality initiative, Ramotsere Muila local municipality has officially now signed a memorandum of cooperation with Infrastructure South Africa. In the next 24 months, the municipality will be working hand in glove with Infrastructure South Africa to roll out various projects to fast-track infrastructure development, enhance technical capacity, revenue collection, and address maintenance backlogs. So, Ramotsere Muila will be a site of construction. Honorable members, the provincial local government quota resolutions are going to inform our program of action for 2026-2027 financial year. This will be done through the establishment of monitoring mechanism to promote and oversee the effective implementation of our action plans. We have developed a performance dashboard track for the implementation of key deliverables in the form of various infrastructure projects. So, in this regard, we are already making progress with the construction and completion of various water projects in our communities. Honorable Botswe. We have recently introduced a contractor in Sweding village in Mahikeng to deal with the challenges of the sewer spillage in that area. We want to take this opportunity to profusely apologize to our residents for this setback, which equally has been a result of various acts of vandalism and criminality. We have since reported the matter to the South African Police Services to follow all the leads in arresting the perpetrators of this heinous crime, of depriving our people dignity by ensuring that they vandalize and steal all the infrastructure in that area. Honorable members, the upgraded bulk water supply scheme in Rustenburg, local municipality, will increase provision of water services in the villages of Betani, Mudikwe, Berseba, and Makoloko. The second phase of the project is scheduled to commence next month to ensure uninterrupted supply of water to over 140,000 residents in that area. This project, Honorable Speaker, is being implemented by Mahali's Water Board in collaboration with Glencore Roven PSD Mine. Honorable Speaker, this gives credence to our long-standing resolve on how social labor plans can foster socio-economic development in our communities. Speaker, Honorable Speaker, Operation Bulela Mate remains a critical initiative to fast-track and bolster our efforts of ensuring equitable access to this precious resource. To date, we have spent close to 300 million for water and sanitation projects in Makwasi Hills and the villages of Sekgakwaneng, Manamakgoteng, Phagane, Mokosho in Moretele local municipalities, but also in Kokomeng, Kurutlong, Molelema, Lunganeng in the Taung local municipality. An additional 1.9 billion rand has been set aside for ongoing bulk water supply projects in Madibeng, Ratlou, Mahikeng, Ramotsirumilwa local municipalities. Honorable members, restoring the dignity of our people through provision of houses remain one of the apex priorities of government. We fully acknowledge and are aware of the push and pull factors that drive the developmental path of our province in distressed mining towns and in particular lack of housing. In response to these challenges, we have committed over 500 million rand for the construction of 1,148 housing units in Madibeng, Moses Kotane and city of Matlosane, where we have installed bulk infrastructure in more than 1,800 sites. We have committed to spend 80% of the budget allocated to human settlement to complete all blocked housing projects in the province. Progress is being registered in this regard, and to date, we have spent 30 million rand for the completion of 215 housing units which were abandoned by contractors in areas such as Letabo, Tlodina, Siking, and Khomotso. This is a resolve that we have made, that it doesn't make sense to create an environment where we build new houses, but we still have incomplete block projects. So 80% of our budget will go to complete all those houses. This project of unblocking this project will extend to Chweminyane village in Mahikeng, where we appointed a contractor in January. Honorable members, the Smart and Mega City program remains a strategic priority of the Northwest Provincial Government, with our Northwest Housing Corp leading the implementation and driving the delivery across the province. Appreciation is extended to the municipalities that have passed council resolutions and made land available in support of this program. Private sector funding for the Mahikeng Student City has been secured, positioning the project to a break ground as soon as the final land matters are concluded. All major technical work, including engineering designs, has been completed, ensuring that the project is construction or shovel ready. The Mahikeng Student City alone is projected to unlock over 3,500 jobs, creating meaningful economic opportunities for SMMEs, youth, women, and persons living with disabilities. The Premier and the two MECs for Costa and that are currently spearheading high-level stakeholder engagements to resolve the outstanding land disputes and fast-track project commencement. But so our asbestos roof removal project is well on course, with 43 million rand allocated for this exercise in Madibeng, JB Max, Mahikeng, and Ditsoholo. Therefore, we are focused on removing all our roofs in our houses which are asbestos. So this project is on course. Furthermore, we will be disposing 288 houses of government that we have built on tribal land. What that means literally is that our people who are living in Khanyesa, in Tawu, who are staying in houses which are called government houses, they are going to be given an opportunity to own those houses. So we will be giving them those houses. Preference in giving those houses will be given to the current tenants who are rightful occupants to ensure security of tenure and orderly regularization. These properties are spread across, in particular, Bojanala, Ngaka Mudiri Molema, and Dr. Ruth Sokhomotsi Mumbat. The MEC responsible for public works and roads will outline details on the implementation framework in her budget speech. Honorable members, our road infrastructure projects are steadily gaining traction with over 1.6 billion rands set aside for catalytic projects in Pelendaba, Makwasi, Verdwar, and Ramokoka State to restore access, stimulate local economies, and reconnect our communities. Kofi Munsiwa, we can report to you, our worship, and the people of Mahike, that the much anticipated upgrade of Nelson Mandela Drive, budgeted at over 700 million rands over a multi-year period, is now back on track and will include the widening of the bridge that will serve as a dual carriageway in Mahike. A contractor will be on site from April as we transition from compliance process to visible construction. The continuation of this project follows the successful implementation of phase 1, which included the refurbishment of several roads in and around the Goldview suburb in Mafike. A similar initiative was implemented to give internal roads in coastal Ketlen River local municipality a facelift. All of us, we can go to Ketlen in town, you can see what we have done in Ketlen. We envision to roll out this intervention in municipalities such as the city of Matlosane and the Tsobota local municipality in this coming financial year. Following the Premier's instruction last year, all hurdles related to the challenges of trafficable roads in Ward 1 and Ward 2 in Moses Kotane local municipality have finally been resolved. Contractors for the 33-kilometer upgrade road that connects various communities in the villages of Dwarsberg, Pitidi Suleja will be on site from the month of April. The construction of Chrome Craig and the Lebotwani to Troller Road in Moretti local municipality will also commence in the new financial year. Now, over 700 million rand has been set aside for the rehabilitation and special maintenance of an 82-kilometer road from Swartregens to Magalisberg over a 4-year period. Finally, the strategic corridor road is between the northwest, Gauteng, and Botswana will enable economic activities within the freight and the commuter transport industry. Honorable members, we are looking forward to signing a memorandum of understanding with the Central University of Technology on the filling of potholes project across all municipalities in the province, targeting 7,000 unemployed youth. The Department of Public Works and Roads will procure asphalt for identified municipalities to see to the full implementation of this project. This investment will strengthen the integration with national, provincial, and municipal roads and improve access to economic opportunities and ensure mobility for residents in our communities. In relation to the latter, we have kept our commitment of providing commuter transport in villages such as Khanyesa, Tauru, Budibe, Masamane, and Mabiskra, spread across the 3 district municipalities of Nakamudiri Molema, Bojana La Platina, and Dr. Musuhumuti Mupad, benefiting over 130,000 residents. I think our people in Nakamudiri in particular, during our tours, will appreciate what this announcement. The current commuter contract ends in March 2026, and we have subsequently appointed a transactional advisor to support the finalization of all processes that will ensure a seamless transition to the next phase of the contract. When it comes to NTR, we have intervened in mitigating the challenges of non-payment of salaries in the Northwest Transport Investment as a temporary measure. Plans to recapitalize the entity through an equity partner are underway to preserve jobs and ensure the business sustainability of the entity. We expect this process to be concluded in the next 3 months. You'll be very happy, Honorable Sonaki. We are encouraged, honorable members, by the recent figures of the quarterly forced labor survey, where our province created 78,000 jobs in the last 2 quarters of 2025. Reducing official unemployment in the province by 6.2%, the largest in the country. These figures, numbers don't lie. These figures have been given impetus by the adoption of the growth and developmental strategy, which is currently being implemented. In our continued efforts to revive the provincial economy and ensure common vision for driving inclusive provincial economic growth, we have taken a decisive step towards the establishment of the Northwest Development Fund, set a seed of about 100 million rand to commit and demonstrate our commitment that we want to establish this thing, which is called the Development Fund. Now, this fund, we can report, is now registered with the Companies and Intellectual Property Commission as a non-profit company and public benefiting organization with the South African Revenue Services. There are ongoing discussions with industry leaders in mining and financial institutions to support this noble idea. And there is interest in this regard, given our engagements on the sidelines of the Investing in Africa Mining Indaba recently held in Cape Town. Honorable members, we have successfully hosted various G20 summit meetings, which have contributed immensely to our tourism drive, where international arrivals increased to 86,000 visitors. This reflects our 33% of growth when compared in 2024. The resuscitation, Honorable Speaker, of the Pilanesberg International Airport in collaboration with Infrastructure South Africa will boost our tourism endeavors as well as reincarnating commercial activities in the adjacent Sun City Resort and the Pilanesberg National Park. Moreover, a 150 million rand construction of the Majakaneng to Sun City Road will be strategically positioned to sustain this economic and support the economic drive. A similar approach is being touted. A similar approach is being touted for Infrastructure South Africa to avail their expertise in commercializing the George Munsiwa Airport as a cargo airport in Mahikeng. Honorable members, an additional 12,000 jobs are on the cards as we seek to revitalize and officially license and launch the Bojanala Special Economic Zone in 2026 and 2027. The SEZ is currently anchored on investment worth 12 billion rands, which will have a multiplier effect on secondary industries. We have secured significant investor interest and investment agreements, which will be signed during the upcoming Investment and Job Summit. Local businesses have been prepared to participate in business-to-business partnerships with international investors facilitated through foreign embassies. Government-to-government cooperation has been strengthened through existing agreements with strategic partners, including the People's Republic of China. This includes strengthening the economic cooperation with Botswana, Namibia in particular, around the Trans-Kalahari Economic Corridor. Moreover, the high-level engagement with the government of Botswana have been undertaken to support skills development, training programs, investment cooperation, and joint economic initiatives. The Northwest Development Corporation has secured investment to support export development. This investment will benefit agricultural producers, small-scale miners, and agro-processing enterprises. These products include nuts, citrus, agricultural produce, and mineral products. Honorable members, the province has considered the report of the panel of experts on the state of the Northwest Development Corporation and has taken a position to implement a comprehensive turnaround strategy to restore its ability to unlock investment and support business development. The turnaround includes address cross-border properties located on traditional land, and resolving the long-standing debt and litigation that have negatively affected the financial position of the Northwest Development Corporation. Engagements have commenced with the Development Bank of Southern Africa, DBSA, to develop models to restructure and convert portions of the NWDC debt into infrastructure investment opportunities through the Infrastructure Development Fund. A dedicated team of administrators has been established to implement the turnaround and the stabilization program. Honorable members, we have initiated the commercialization of 14 provincial nature reserves. This process has attracted investment commitments of approximately 420 million. Now, this conscious decision retained because we have realized that we've got natural or our nature reserves which are dilapidated, and government has not capacity to deal with them, and therefore we have then moved private sector, and as we commercialize, and we have attracted commitments of investment. This investment model will include lease agreements and equity participation where our rural communities, landowners, and traditional authorities will benefit through lease income, equity participation, job creation, and enterprise opportunities. I have no doubt that this program will improve sustainability of the reserves and contribute to the economic growth of the province. Honorable Speaker, in the last 2 years, we have created over 72,000 work opportunities through the implementation of our extended public works program. Remarkably, progress has also been registered through the absorption of over 4,500 community health workers on a full-time and temporary basis. All our community health workers who were temporary have now been absorbed and appointed on a full-time basis. A further 200 million rand was set aside for the employment of more than 100 health professionals in the form of medical information centers are resuscitated to ensure that all stock theft related issues are reported and perpetrators are arrested. While we have reduced this criminality act of stock theft by 5% for the good work of the police, where over 200 people have been arrested, we will increase the footprint of the police to improve visibility and accessibility to deter future incidents. Honorable members, through our poverty alleviation and job creation initiatives in our rural farmers and farming communities, we have allocated 50 million rand to improve the red meat infrastructure, benefiting close to 2,000 emerging farmers. In addition to this, close to 250 million rand of cash conditional grant will be proportionally shared among women, youth, and people with disability for infrastructure production inputs, training, capacity building, as well as counterfactual yadikhomi. Engagement with Business Unity South Africa for the development of a chicken abattoir in the province are at an advanced stage. This initiative is primarily aimed at strengthening poultry value chain by supporting emerging producers to unlock new employment opportunities in the sector across the province. Moreover, the refurbishment of 50,000 tons of grain storage facility in Springbok Park is expected to be concluded in the coming financial year. This facility is expected to strengthen our grain storage facility capacity to support food security in the province. Through the district development model, we will implement targeted food security interventions across the 4 districts. This will be done through the Letsema grant support, threshold food production cooperatives, and community institutions. A total of 17.9 million rand has been set aside for vulnerable households and sustainable production. In pursuit of these objectives, we have equally reached over 10,000 households through our food security program. So we are focused and we are dedicated to drive this program to ensure that there is food security in the province. Elkana Imokotsi. We have also established a community nutrition and development centers at Maretsani and Bisaneng, in Ratlo, in Kabielboom, in Moses Kotani, to rid our people of hunger and starvation. These community-driven centers are aimed at providing regular access to nutritious meals for those who are facing food insecurity. I must hasten to indicate that over 50,000 people facing hunger in this province and undue hardships have accessed these services. This is a significant milestone, particularly in cushioning our communities against poverty and hunger in our distressed communities. Honorable members, the process of constructing new health facilities and refurbishing existing ones is ongoing, with our Delareyville as an example, Bank Pharmacy, and our 3 park homes located in Sheila, 8K, and Mahore have been completed. Plans are already in motion for the establishment of a chemotherapy unit in Mahikeng Provincial Hospital for 2026-2027 financial year. With the tertiary services fully established in Telkom Hospital, in Klerksdorp. The focus will now be shifted to Job Shimankani Taba. A litany of services such as urology, the operationalization of the new MRI, mammography and procurement of digital X-rays and CARM to increase radiology capacity have earmarked for this hospital. The facility will further upgrade the intensive care unit to 16 beds with specialist outreach of urology services to Moses Kotane Hospital, maxillofacial services to Brett District Hospital, and ophthalmology services to Kabale. Honorable Speaker, the Northwest University Desmond Tutu School of Medicine was officially launched on the 22nd of April 2025 in honor of our Archbishop Desmond Tutu's legacy of justice, compassion, and humanity. Both the National Minister of Health and Higher Education have issued letters to support or letters of support for the establishment of this medical school. The clinical training facilities across the province for the delivery of curriculum will be provided by the Northwest Department of Health. The infrastructure plans are also progressing very well, and activities of different work streams will continue as planned in 2026 and 2027. Honorable members, the scourge of teenage pregnancy in our province, particularly among underage girls, can no longer be normalized. In view of its profound socio-economic and health consequences, we will implement a coordinated provincial response to reduce teenage pregnancy and strengthen support of adolescent mothers. Working hand in glove with the Department of Social Development and Education, the Department of Health has been assigned to lead this initiative, recognizing that teenage pregnancy is a downstream effect of a broader social determinant, including poverty, school dropout, violence, and limited access to youth-friendly services. By placing health, education, and social development at the center of a multi-sectoral effort, we will ensure a unified, evidence-driven response that protects our girls, supports young mothers, and strengthens the well-being of our communities. Honorable members, government has classified gender-based violence and femicide as a national disaster. This classification strengthens the mandate of government departments in collaboration with civil society organizations, the media, and community at large in waging a winnable war against gender-based violence and femicide. We have made great strides in establishing shelters to cater for the needs of the victims of gender-based violence across the province. These shelters are meant to provide a comprehensive social support services, including accommodation, trauma counseling, protection services, and safety. So these services are there in the province as our response to deal with gender-based violence. Happy MEC Social Development. Over 640 victims of gender-based violence have accessed sheltering services in the current financial year, and a further 3,200 victims of crime accessed support services of these centers. Honorable members, we strongly believe there is a direct correlation between pandemic of gender-based violence and inequalities as well as lack of economic opportunities affecting women. As a result, we have initiated deliberate intervention measures aimed at the empowerment of women. Through capacity building and various measures, women-led cooperatives and enterprises have progressed steadily as over 200 women-owned enterprises have successfully completed various business management enterprises. These programs have been anchored on various business development initiatives where 4.2 billion rand and 1.7 billion rand were spent on women and youth-owned enterprises, respectively benefiting over 2,500 enterprises. As we commemorate both the 70th and the 50th anniversary of the 1956 Women March and the June 16 uprising, we will continue to champion the social development of our young, for the children of any nation and its future. Of profound importance is to realize that the development of any nation will not reach its pinnacle stage if we don't place women at the center of this strategy. Honorable Speaker, the Northwest Province has registered an improvement on the 2025 Senior Certificate Examinations by obtaining 88.49 pass rate, making it the fourth best performing province in 3 consecutive years. Our focus remains firmly on creating safe, functional, and resilient learning environment that support equality education and restore the dignity to our school communities. Our schools, Mokala, Tlakame, Chaneng, Tsedimoso Primary School, are now functionally contributing to the education capacity. In the approaching financial year, we will allocate 1.4 billion towards education infrastructure delivery. This investment is directed at accelerating construction, strengthening maintenance, and improving the overall condition of existing schools across the province, including those that were damaged by heavy rains. Similarly, Khasitiwi, Khosishope, and Sarafina are now providing education services to our secondary school learners. Planning for Kamelang Special School has progressed well and is now under design for development stage. The process for the construction of the Nogana, our autism schools, have been finalized and work will commence very soon. The land issues which hamper progress in respect of Raceman's-built mega farm schools are now resolved. This mega institution shall replace 15 non-viable small farm schools in that area. So we are building a mega farm school, and we are now closing those smaller schools in our farming areas. During the 2026-2027 financial year, we will deliver a balanced infrastructure program that prioritizes both new capacity and the protection of existing assets. 7 new schools such as Sunview, Fikile, Jakeni, the Bronderspruit, Ukwanang, Madiba Kashishobarolo, and Molokwe Primary are scheduled for completion in the new financial year. 5 major infrastructure projects will enter the construction phase, supporting our long-term capacity expansion and modernization of our facilities. This includes phase 2 of our Stakewood Grove and Mahubia Primary School, as well as Colini Special School. Khosi Tato le tlhomogile ko ganyesa kita kere sekolo sa le rotloe se re appointa contractor khosi kholo kita kere go mo itumetse ka go nela ke tsela ka motho wa gago bolela ka sekolo se gale baagi ba se batla. We have just handed the contractor to the traditional leadership. Honorable members, a total of 114 renovations and refurbishment projects have been allocated to management contractors. 32 of these projects are expected to be completed and handed over within the 2026-2027 financial year, significantly improving learning conditions in all the affected schools. Infrastructure investment remains a critical driver for our local economic development. The 2026-2027 infrastructure project will continue to support job creation through the appointment of contractors, subcontractors, and local SMMEs, while also promoting skills development and community participation. Infrastructure development in our rural and township schools has contributed in the attainment of over 54% of our bachelor passes in our non-paying fee schools. And therefore, for our 54% yadi bachelors, including the colon, take over Tone, Hosapata, the Horam Kidi Colon Tabaklon, and Horam Balabarona, Badila Saint. Jan, say, Sarah O, Reconne, Jaka Pusho, ya democracy, ya Northwest. Hohokota the gap, ya the results that are the quality between the rich and the poor. Therefore, Kanya or Banaba is your good column, the rich that the model C. The quality of education is the same in all our schools, and therefore, that's why this result that the metric pass rate or the Bona Kudikolonza or Sapatani school fees. This investment has culminated in reducing the learner performance gap, like I said, between the affluent and the less privileged schools. Honorable Speaker, as part of ensuring that we improve scholar transport, government will continue to conduct vehicle inspections in our scholar transport every 6 months. In January and in July, when schools reopen, all our scholar transport service providers will be compelled to take their buses for inspection. And if you don't go for inspection, your contract will be terminated. I want that message to be very clear. If your bus is not taken for inspection, you choose not to take it for inspection, your contract will be terminated. This is to ensure that buses are used for scholar transport remain in good state of repair and that operators comply with their service level agreement. There have been over 100 operators who have been terminated for failure to comply with the service level agreement. Therefore, we have started non-compliance with our service level agreement, you are terminated. A panel for scholar transport has been appointed to be called at any moment notice should there be a need for troubleshooting in areas where there is a non-compliance. If you don't comply, if you are not taking for your transport for inspection, if there is unroadworthy, you'll have to be terminated. and therefore we have a database for replacement of such stimulation. There are regular meetings chaired by the head of Department of COSATMA and Education to ensure that there is seamless operation without disrupting teaching and learning. As we do the above, we must never at any stage compromise learning of our children. Traffic law enforcement officers will also continue to monitor scholar transport on a daily basis to ensure that buses that transport learners are roadworthy. Therefore, we expect our traffic officers regularly to target buses that are transporting learners, whether they are compliant or not. Honorable members, the provincial government will continue to sponsor learners from across the province to different institutions of higher learning. We have recruited an additional 100 students this academic year to study at different institutions of higher learning across the country. A total of 180 learners have been enlisted in the Victor Sifora Bursary Fund, with 30 million rand committed to their junior degrees. There was an advert in the newspapers, people applied and they were selected, the awards have been made. So over 30 million rand will be committed for their junior degrees. We further committed to send 31 unemployed young people from across the Northwest into the Nelson Mandela Fidel Castro medical program to pursue medical studies in Cuba, and this was achieved. An additional 30 young people will undergo this program in the next financial year. The provincial administration will continue to collaborate with CETA's organizations in the skills industry as well as business to build skills capacity and human development in the province. To this end, SABC has offered to sponsor 50 first-year students to institutions of higher learning. ETDP CETA will be recruiting 280 young people for Disability Sign Language and Handy Persons program. The much anticipated SANSI collaboration targeting 3,000 young people in the agriculture, artisanal and aviation program will start in earnest, and the advert will be issued next week Friday. The recruitment of the first cohort comprising of 300 young people will begin next month on the SANSI program. We can further confirm, Honorable Speaker, that an additional 300 learners will undergo training in assembling and operation of drones in the province. Through the Unemployment Agricultural Graduate Program, we have recruited 103 graduates for a period of 24 months with a monthly stipend of 7,600 rand. A total close to 1,000 young people will also be undergoing training in the public sector through internship, learnership, and work integrated learning process. Honorable members, following the rationalization of over 155 schools across the province, the government will partner with the Department of Higher Education and Training to repurpose these facilities into community training centers. Through this mass skilling development program, these former schools sites will be transformed into centers of artisan training, youth empowerment, and local economic activation. Now, what was once an underutilized infrastructure will become engines of opportunity. Honorable members, we appreciate the work done by our traditional leaders in fostering development in our communities. We can report to the House that the implementation of Pasha Yakhosi is in full steam. We will be in consultation with the House to identify one traditional village in Nagamudulimolema, Dr. Rusu Homotsi Mumpati, and Bojangala district as pilot projects of this program. In strengthening these efforts, we have completed the scoping and evaluation for all our traditional council offices for refurbishment, and will be engaging with the House on how prioritization will be done. So we will be prioritizing refurbishment of our traditional offices, and therefore engagement with the House will be necessary. This intervention will also include the purchasing of 27 new vehicles for our traditional leaders to make their work seamless on their continued endeavors for socio-economic development in our rural communities. We have, Honorable Speaker, concluded investigations in traditional leadership disputes in Bahuruti Bahamuilwa and Bakwenaba Mudimusai. While those of Bahuruti, Bo Mokata, et Kofikra, Bahuruti Bo Manyani, Bakwenaba Mohopa, Bahuduwa et Moreteli are underway. It is therefore my appeal to all affected communities where Section 59 of the Traditional Leadership and Cohesion Act has been instituted to exercise caution and restraint until investigations are concluded. Honorable members, we have achieved decisive progress in positioning digital transformation as a strategic driver of service delivery, economic growth, and good governance through the rollout of our Wi-Fi across 121 libraries across the province. This will make our communities access government information easily and participate on a number of programs that can uplift their lives. We have embarked on a process of building a single provincial broadband network as the digital backbone of the province. As part of this, we will revive partnerships with long-standing under-service area licenses who have held ICASA license for over 20 years but have not fully participated in the digital economy. Unlocking our local capacity and expanding inclusive growth for these entrepreneurs. From the 1st of April, procurement across the Northwest provincial government will be fully automated through the Smart Gov program led by the Office of the Premier of the G. And that will be from supply registration and quotation management, invoice tracking, contract management will create a simpler, fairer, and more transparent system for business and residents alike. So we are going digital. We do away with manual quotation, manual invoices, and so on. The first phase of the refurbishment of Maba Namahike is well underway, with a contractor on site to take this institution back to its glory days. What it means is we are restoring the glory of Maba. The contractor is appointed, is on site, for us to be able to put it back to its own glory. Furthermore, the completion of the Volmaranstad Library, as well as Matlodin Cultural Village, reinforces our commitment to provide free, equitable access to information knowledge production, and the preservation of our liberation history. In this regard, we will be strengthening the political heritage of our liberation struggle of Botswana and other sister countries which have played an important role as a frontline states by providing humanitarian support and defying apartheid destabilization tactics and raids. We are also going to target the young people between these countries to venture into film and television training to tell an African story. These documentaries will be centered on the diversity and the unity which defines our history, our culture, our heritage. The African novelist, author Chini Achebe maintains, and I quote, "Until the lions have their own historians, the history of the hunt will glorify the hunter," unquote. We have told our story, acknowledging our challenges, but together with the people of the Northwest, will remain hopeful about the prospect of our developmental trajectory. Let's build a Northwest that works. For all, I thank you, Jadeboha, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Thank you very much, Honorable Mokhosi. I will continue to acknowledge our dignitaries. Cosimo, the chairperson, they didn't hear me. They are complaining that I didn't recognize. We are the first person to recognize under Mokhosi. Thank you very much. Continue being with us. Khosi Nyalala Pilani, Rafam Khala Khosia Kalona Maleboha. Khosana Rakudu is in our midst also. I have also the Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Honorable Gondwe, is in our midst also. We also have got Salga in our midst. The Chairperson Rekumalo is with us in the midst. We also received a message of congratulations, Premier, from Ambassador of Venezuela, Carlos Feo Aves. Yes. Yes. We also have our executive mayors, our speakers, chief whips in our midst. We also have in our midst, we appreciate so much the former speaker of this house, the chairperson of the African National Congress, Ndate Nolol Maloi, and the secretary, Ndate Lumidi Remelo. We thank you so much for being with us. Finally, honorable members, the House is still in session. The House is still in session. Finally, honorable members, I wish to acknowledge and appreciate my husband, Mr. Mohono, is in the midst. He's my husband. Thank you very much, honorable members. The Northwest Provincial Legislature appreciate your presence in this prestigious event and we appreciate that you came and you were a very good audience. Honourable members, we will be ushered to a group photo shoot and then after proceed to the marquee tent for lunch. We believe that all ushers will be ready for all of you to usher you to your table and your guests. Our guests will also be ushered to lunch. I hope that it will be seamless arrangement to go to the lunch. The Deputy Speaker will be taking care of us there. The procession will be led by the Sergeant at Arms, followed by the Speaker, Premier, Judge President, Secretary to the Legislature, and the table staff. Thank you very much, Honourable Member. This sitting is adjourned until the 3rd of March for the debate on the state of the province address. I thank you.